Visit us online at burningrubberradio.com for recipes from the NASCAR chef, John Dix, and more great content.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
Now back to more Burning Rubber Radio.
And we're back. It's another Wednesday. It's a fast lap once again, Andy.
Yeah, man, it's the week's flying by like usual.
Yep.
And I am so excited because we have a friend of mine.
Wait a minute. You say you're so excited, but wait a minute. Homestead's in the books. Martinsville is this coming weekend, but I have to ask you a quick question. Have you had your eyes checked lately?
Man, you see these big old glasses I wear? Of course.
Folks, I mean...
Yeah, whatever.
But, I mean, hey, I've been wearing glasses since I was 2 years old myself.
I was going to say, what about your Coke bottles anyway?
Hey,
what were you going to lead into there, buddy?
My Coke bottles are a lot smaller than your Coke bottles, my friend. Now, granted, of course, 35 years ago, they weren't. They were huge. And but with that being the case here, folks, we have got a very unique guest on the line here with us this week on the Fast Lap. We have got, and if I butcher the name, I hope he'll correct me. Not you, but him.
I can say his name right, shall I?
We have Patrick Staropoli on the show this week here.
Yeah, and Patrick Staropoli, of course, is somebody that has been with Burning Rubber Radio, has sat in and co-hosted on Burning Rubber Radio in the past. Mm-hmm. And Patrick is with us. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey, guys. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be back. I spent many fun shows on here co-hosting with you in the past, Andy. And Wayne, thank you for having me. So, yeah, it's good to be back and talking racing with you guys.
Most definitely. And, of course, the joke that we make there, folks, when I was asking Andy if he's had his eyes checked, not only has Patrick had his little bit of time in radio here with this goofball to my right over here, but, he's also a racer, and his day job, and this is the coolest thing ever, folks, because Patrick is going to be setting a record with what he's doing this weekend coming up at Martinsville. He is the first licensed surgeon to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR Xfinity Series car. And we say that because Patrick is an optical surgeon, a.k.a. the fancy term that most folks know it as, an ophthalmologist. And so...
Yep, that's correct. You nailed it there.
Yeah. So Patrick, I have to... I guess I'm curious because I mean I know we've seen guys like Frankie Muniz, who have been actors and stuff like that, who have jumped into the Arkham Menard series and have taken a real shine to the Arkham Menard series. But for somebody like yourself, who you've got a great career, as the optical surgeon, family, all that good stuff going for you. What made you want to jump into a NASCAR stock car?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been the goal my entire life. I grew up at the racetrack. My dad and my grandfather raced when I was a kid, so I went to my first race when I was 6 months old and helped them out on their cars growing up. I got into go-karts when I was 13 and worked my way through the ranks. And, the dream has always been to just race on the highest level possible. And, every day you wake up and eat, sleep, live, and breathe racing. And it's been several years since I've raced, in a national NASCAR series, but I've been running as much as I can in Florida, competing with super late models and tour type modifieds here the last couple of years. And so, as a driver, you always want the doors to open up and the opportunities to align, and that's what's come together for me this year. So, like I said, there's a lot of other things going on in life. Always had to have solid education. That was the prerequisite to, my family letting me race. But right now it's really about realizing this dream that I've been working towards, 20 years behind the wheel of a race car. And now I'm going to get to make my debut in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. So, it's a dream come true. It's been a long time coming.
So
and that's this weekend here at Martinsville, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, next weekend at Martinsville. Yep.
And so now the question then becomes to further along into that point too. You mentioned 20 years behind the wheel of a race car here, and you started with go-karts and stuff at a young age. 13 and up and everything like that. So for the folks listening at home, and again, you being an ophthalmologist, which, there's a lot of schooling involved to make that happen. How old are you?
So I'm 35 now. And yeah, it's a lot of schooling. So beyond high school, you do college, then you apply to medical school. Med school ended up with 5 years because it took a year to do research and compete in NASCAR the first time in the middle of med school. Then you do a year of internship, 3 years of residency, 2 years of fellowship. So you're adding it all up. It's 10 plus years of education even after college to get to the point where I'm at now. So it's been a long time of juggling both of my passions, and I found numerous ways throughout the years to use the racing platform to help out certain medical causes and the other way around. So I'm consider myself a really lucky guy to be able to do both things that I love and to do them at a high level.
I was going to say that does sound pretty cool, and who knows, maybe somewhere down the line we'll if God forbid one of these guys get into an accident and they have to go get their eyes checked afterwards, be like, Patrick, Enfield Care Center.
I got him covered. Friends, family, and competitor discount.
Now, also for all the folks out there to know, Patrick's a good friend of one of our good friends, Joey Coulter.
Yeah, Joey's a lifelong friend of mine. I mean, when I first got started in go-karts was about the time that he was, tapering off and moving up the ranks. We're both from South Florida. Both raced at Hialeah Speedway, which was the staple short track down there before it closed. But we spent our childhoods there, so we're buddies going way back. I drove for him last year in the Smart Modified Series, made 2 starts for his team, and top 10 finishes in both. Sat on the pole in my second ever modified race at South Boston, which was really cool. So yeah, we've been friends for a long time, and I've gotten to drive for him a little bit here recently, and he's been a huge source of advice for me going to a lot of these, NASCAR tracks I haven't been to before and driving, these cars.
So
than you think on a late model on a short track. So yeah, owe a lot to Joey and his family helping me out a ton over the years.
So it's safe to say you are utilizing the Drive Refine protocol then to make yourself better when it comes to getting back on the racetrack, especially this weekend coming up at the paperclip known as Martinsville Speedway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Joey's got such a good process for that whole Drive Refine program about how he breaks down a race weekend, prepping going there, obviously helping you out with that track stuff. And then I think the most important thing is debriefing afterwards. I mean, going back through all the data, what you learned that weekend just makes you better next time. And that's something that me and him have informally done for most of my life up until now, but especially because, he's become more specialized in it here recently. Yeah, he's the best resource to lean on.
Very cool stuff. And again, folks,
Go ahead, buddy.
I was going to say, and if you want to learn more about how Drive Refine works, like Patrick was talking about there, make sure you visit driverefine.com and hit up Joey, hit up Austin, hit up everybody that's involved with the Drive Refine program, and make yourself better when it comes to being on the racetrack. Again, that is driverefine.com, driverefine.com, driverefine.com. I can say it a million times. But the thing I love about this next part, it's not just driver coaching, it's Drive Refine.
Drive Refine.
There you go. I had to count him down, but he got it that time.
We did it. Finally, at the same time. Anyway, what I was fixing to ask Patrick here, okay, we got Martinsville coming up here, and now I know that the press release said that there's going to be multiple races this year. Or do you know which other races that you're going to run?
That's a great question. So we have a couple races marked on the calendar, but still working out the final details on that. So we're starting off with Martinsville here. We'll see how everything goes and hopefully be able to release more of the schedule going into next month or heading into the summertime. So I'm really excited. It's an opportunity to race on a couple different platforms here. Obviously, we have the ARCA races with Venturini Motorsports and had a great race at Phoenix a couple weeks ago. Had some hiccups with my window net that unfortunately, foiled a really good finish. But that camp is really solid, and I'm excited to be driving for those guys as well. After Martinsville, I think we have Rockingham, Talladega, Charlotte, and we have Bristol in the fall lined up with that group. So
wow,
it's going to be a really fun year. I'm pumped.
Well, Patrick, when you come up here to Charlotte, you'll have to let me know when you arrive, and we'll bring you a big old burning rubber welcome.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, because I myself, I'm just right up the road in Statesville, so about, give or take about 35, 40 minutes from the Speedway. It's not too far away.
Oh, nice.
well,
Yep.
Well, I'm really excited about the fact that you're, back in NASCAR, especially now that you're jumping into an Xfinity Series car. All of the other stuff too. The ARCA run was great. I'm just excited that you're able to fit this into your schedule and do your doctoring along with your driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been really fortunate to be surrounded by people my whole life who've helped me do these two things. There's not enough time in the day for me to do it all on my own. So, the group I'm with now, I moved out to Houston about a year and a half ago. I'm with Retina Consultants of Texas in Houston, and have the support of all the partners in the group. They think it's really cool that I can go out and represent our field, and particularly with our sponsor on the car and what we're trying to do this year to raise awareness for macular degeneration and geographic atrophy. It's a big deal to have a presence because a lot of the demographic and the NASCAR fan base sort of overlaps with people that might be at risk or affected by that. So they're working with me on my schedule to make sure that I get all my clinic days in and surgery days, but I'm still able to travel and make it to these races. So it's really the best of both worlds, and I have everyone's support, on the race team side and on my day job side to make it happen.
So then, I become curious at that point, because we have heard, all of the radio ads and seen the ads on TV as well that involve, what's his name, Andy, the Fonz. What was his name? What is his real name?
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler, yeah,
Henry
and
Winkler.
his dad that was affected by, GA and everything like that. So, and this will be one of the last fun things that we can talk about here, or maybe even not so fun things, because it is a serious condition. For the folks that are listening at home that may have older loved ones that may have issues with their eyesight, what is GA for those folks that may not know what is all of that?
Yeah, so GA stands for geographic atrophy. It's a complication or something that happens in the later stages of macular degeneration. Macular degeneration is a condition basically that affects people as they get older, where the center part of the retina, which is your film in your eye that helps you see the world, it doesn't function as good as it did before. So when people get geographic atrophy, it's actually parts of the retina that thin out and no longer work. And for a long, long time, there was no treatment for this condition. And then about 2 years ago, this medication was approved that now slows down the progression of geographic atrophy. So like you said, you saw the ads with Henry Winkler. That's for the medication Syfovre, and that's who sponsors the race car this year. So,
oh, wow. Very cool.
There is
Excellent.
something that can be done about it now and can be slowed down. And it's really good to be able to offer that to patients.
Very cool stuff. Now, as far as the macular degeneration stuff, and I know you would have heard it if you listened to radio back in the day. I know Andy's heard it because, God, it was all over radio. Andy, you remember those days of Paul Harvey, news and comment, where he would talk about macular degeneration all the time, and I'm just like, in a way, it's kind of all coming full circle here now, where we've got Patrick able to sit here and talk about it with us and kind of promote some of the benefit ways to help correct it, whether it be surgically or medically, some other form. So.
Yeah, it's crazy how things come full circle, and it's a really exciting time right now in medicine in general, and then in what I do in ophthalmology. Coming up with treatments for things that previously never had a treatment, and letting people know that those are options and trying to raise awareness. That's all part of the campaign this year. Very
cool stuff. Well, Patrick, we look forward to seeing what your run looks like this weekend coming up at Martinsville. And, we would actually be doing an injustice, Andy.
Injustice.
If we didn't get the shout. Now, Patrick, from doing this show, what that shout is.
Yes, of course. I can't forget. I always make everyone do it at the end.
see, I'm the one that makes everybody do it now and before you came on the show. So, hey, you know what? Between the two of us, it's time for a big old burning rubber, baby.
All right, give me the countdown here. Give me a 3, 2, 1.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Burning rubber, baby.
All right.
Well, yeah, there's a top 10 at Martinsville right there, baby.
Top 10. I'm going to say it's a top 2, if not a win.
Okay, you know it.
Fingers crossed, man. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think we have a good piece to take to Martinsville next week, and just want the race to go smoothly, make all the laps, get as much experience as I can, and we'll build on that and see what we can do the rest of the season.
Definitely, buddy. Well, with that said here, folks, we are going to wrap it up for this week on the Fast Lap. Patrick, hang around with us here for just a second. We'll talk to you off the air. But, Andy, it's that time to wrap it up once again, my friend. But before we do and go take ourselves a nap here, go say hi to the folks over at MyPillow and mypillow.com/BRR. And make sure you use that promo code BRR at checkout to get your entire order delivered for free.
That's right.
And I hear they have a fun sale going on right now, Andy. I believe it's 47% off pillows, slippers, all that good stuff. And not to get political, folks, and I know you're going to get mad at me for saying it, but I really don't give a shit. It's 47 because of the 47th president, Donald J. Trump. But either way, we're going to wrap it up here for the week, for this Wednesday on a Fast Lap. Folks, we'll be back Friday with another Gas and Go and get you ready for the weekend coming up at Martinsville. Until then, I'm Producer Wayne. That's Andrew DeLay, and we'll see you on the other side.